Mr. Special Guest, would you like to introduce yourself to the On Top listener?
Hello, On Top guys. My name's Andreas Liberos, singer-songwriter. Yeah.
And you get a round of applause when you're here. How you doing? You alright?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Good to be here.
It's been a long time coming, right?
Yeah, for real.
A long time coming. So you said you're a singer-songwriter, but give people a bit more of a background as to who you are, the person and the artist, just so they get introduced to you.
So I'm a Greek Cypriot, born and raised in West London. I've been singing my whole life, and just trying to pursue this as a career. Okay. And I released my first single in August. Beginning of August, called Lighthouse, which you already blessed on the channel, so yeah.
Right, so let's talk about that. Let's just go straight into it. I was going to build up to it, but as you've mentioned it, let's just talk about that.
Sure.
Why has it taken you so long to release this first single?
I think for so long I've just been I've been doing the whole covers thing and just trying to make money, and also at the same time finding my sound and just finding myself as an artist and as a man.
Okay.
So
Okay.
But I think everything happens, in the right time.
Nothing happens before its time, as my auntie says.
Exactly. So.
Okay, so yeah. you've taken your time in getting to this point where you're releasing your first single. You've been doing the covers. You've also the first time I played your single, I did say that people might be more aware of you than they even realise, because they might. I remember one time I was leaving work, going to the train station, and I saw you. I'm like, what are you doing there? Like, well, I didn't know. I knew what you're doing there, but so you're out and about, and you're earning a bit of money doing the busking and all the rest of it sometimes as well.
Yeah.
Now I spoke to someone else about this busking actually. Just as I mentioned it, I just thought of it. What is it like? Because for me, initially, before I had this conversation, I said, well, busking, what can you really get from busking? Like, you see a couple of coppers and it's not really worth your time. Do you find busking is worth your time?
Yeah.
Financially?
Yeah. I've been doing it for about 3.5 years.
Yeah.
So I've found my spots, I found the best places to go, and
Are you going to reveal those places? Or?
Yeah, so I'm
okay.
currently...
I wouldn't advise you, but okay.
Well... Yeah, man. I'm not one to shit, to hide things, but
fair enough.
I think Covent Garden is a really good spot.
Mm-hmm.
Man. I think you can make in the touristic spots you can make some good money, because it just depends how many hours you're out there.
Yeah.
But a pound, someone gives £5, someone gives £10, but usually pound coins, and it adds up.
Yeah.
So
what's the most you've ever got in one hit, like from one person?
From one person?
Yeah.
It's rare, but from one person, £100.
Yeah. £100?
Yeah.
Did you pack up your guitar and just walk off straight away? I would have left. I said, I'm done here now. That's my day done. £100?
Yeah. You get them investment guys, that like to invest in up and coming talent,
But that's not an investment. But that's not to throw £100 at someone.
But then you get some really just nice people.
Yeah.
So that was
so
very grateful for that.
The investment people, they're investment people because they say what to you? Because you can only know they want to invest in your future by a conversation that's had, right?
Yeah.
So what sort of conversations do you have with these people?
So they're just asking about my journey and what's next for me. And I'm telling them that I've got my own studio as well.
Okay.
So I'm working on a lot of my own original material.
Okay.
But as you can see on my Spotify right now, I've only got one song.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm working on a catalogue of music. I think they see that I'm doing this for real.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just another person doing covers.
I doubt once they spoke, because number one, you can't really have a real in-depth conversation with them whilst you're playing your music.
No.
So it's going to have to be really something really quick. They can't then delve into your career, see what you have released, what you haven't released, and then make a decision as to how much they're going to invest in you. So it's just like
it's really random, because there was a time I was busking on Bond Street, and it was a Friday, and then I busked again on a Saturday.
Yeah.
One guy walked past, dropped £100, like £250 notes, and then walked off. He didn't even listen to any music. I was like, it was random.
That is crazy.
And then the next day, another guy dropped £100, five £20 notes. I was like, what? But that was like a one-off. I think there's the only two people that have ever given me £100.
Right.
But yeah,
that's all right. Do you want to do that? The question I do want to ask though is that, because I remember speaking to an artist called Naya Ekenham. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yeah. So we did a song together actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. It was like a charity song. We got a video for it and everything.
Do I know?
It was about 3 years ago.
I've got a feeling I know this and I've forgotten, but I must know this. But okay. So Night Academy, he's also in the busking scene.
Yeah.
And he's told me stories about like literally, so you only get a certain amount of time in a spot, and then sometimes people, like for example, if you're on there till 2.
Yeah.
Then the next person might be waiting to come on at 2. Now what tends to happen sometimes is that you might be busking and then feeling like a bit of a slow day. Then at about 1:58, it starts to pick up and get a little bit busier. And you're about to leave in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Now you're not going to want to leave in those 2 minutes.
Nah.
Have you had moments like this as well?
Yeah, so that's with the Busking London scheme.
Yeah, okay.
So that's on the train stations, like the Overground, like the National Rail.
Okay.
So we get a 2-hour slot.
Right, okay.
And yeah, I don't think they're doing it right now because of COVID.
Right, yeah.
They haven't done it for quite a few months, obviously. But yeah, I used to always go there. Like I used to get the slots around sort of 12 to 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Because that was usually
busy time,
lunchtime. Everyone's coming out of work, getting their lunch.
Yeah.
So that's when the footfall's high.
Mad.
But yeah.
No, this is really interesting. So I always looked at it and thought, there's nothing. I don't understand what people are doing, but then I'm hearing many stories that actually can be quite lucrative.
Yeah, and more than money, like it's training. You're
true.
You can perform. You're performing in your own time. You're not being booked for a show. You're just turning up, doing your thing. It's training. You're growing your fan base as well.
Ever had any hecklers?
A couple drunk people come along and try and take some money out of my case.
Really?
But I'm on the mic, so if I shout them on the mic, they're just gonna walk off.
So people actually put their hands and try to take money out? That's hilarious.
Couple times. Yeah.
Too funny. Okay, so in general though, you're working on your own stuff. You said you've got your own studio.
Yeah.
How long have you had your own studio for?
Oh, very long time.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I've sort of just been upgrading it over time. But just a little bedroom studio. But yeah, that's where I make a lot of the music.
So because your current single is an acoustic piece.
Yeah.
Now, what is your production like? Did you deliberately want to make an acoustic piece? Because obviously people that are familiar with you would have seen you again, maybe on the streets or wherever you might be, with your guitar, maybe a live show with your guitar. Was that a deliberate thing? You thought, this is what people associate me with, or did you? What was the reason behind it?
It wasn't so much because that's what people associate me with. It was more that's what that song suited.
Okay.
It was just we wrote it in when I was last year when I was in LA.
Okay.
I was at a songwriting retreat, and we wrote it on a guitar, and it was definitely guitar and vocal that suited that sort of story and that vibe.
Okay. And that's produced by you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. These songwriting retreats, I was going to say. These songwriting retreats. Let's say that when you're drunk. These songwriting retreats that people go on. How do you even get involved in them?
So this specific one is run by a lady called Judy Stakey. I literally just found it online, and it's not so much like a songwriting camp we you get invited to.
Yeah.
It's a retreat, so you have to pay to go to it. But it was like the most life-changing experience. I learned so much.
Okay. All right. And so you're amongst other songwriters that you've never met before.
Yeah.
You get together. You work on the same music, or do you have your own separate sections?
You get separated in groups.
Okay.
There was about 30 of us.
Yeah.
So 30 writers.
Okay. Wow.
And then we just separated in groups of like 4.
Okay.
And then every day, we're there for like 5 days. Every day we'd write a different song.
Okay.
So yeah.
So for someone like you, do you have a full-time job, a 9 to 5? Do you drive buses?
Music is now my full-time job. Yeah.
Totally. So I'm assuming from the way you answered that question that you previously had a full-time job.
Yeah, I was working in retail for quite a few years.
And how long ago did you give that up?
So about 5 years ago.
So since for the past 5 years, you took the leap of faith.
Yeah.
Left, and now you're working on your own music. How's that been for you?
It's been, do you know what? It's been way better than retail.
Really?
And I haven't had to work as many hours either.
Really?
Because I just started busking with a friend, and it was super fun. And then I realized we can actually make money from this. And then just through busking, you get like events, you get birthday parties, weddings.
Yeah.
You get little things like that as well on the weekends. So, yeah.
So I just saw something today, so I'm trying to find it as I speak to you. The government have said, let me see if I can find this now on my phone, literally speaking to you just reminded me. Government have said that from memory, oh there we go, Rishi Sunak, whatever his name
Yeah, I
is.
knew he was going to pull that one up.
Yeah? Suggests musicians and other people in other arts should refrain and find other jobs.
Don't buy that.
What do you think about a comment like that?
I think they're just trying to make the world a boring place. Like, music is life. I think they're trying to. I heard something about them trying to stop live entertainment on live streams as well.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if that's like actually a thing, but that's apparently from the government. But yeah, man.
So,
Like, obviously the whole live events industry is just gone downhill. It's non-existent right now.
exactly,
But
more than downhill.
yeah, I still feel like you can make money within music.
Okay, all right. Just want to get your thoughts on it, because I saw that literally about an hour before I left home to come here, and I thought that is well cheeky.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know, as an artist, as someone who's been prevented effectively from making money, what you thought about that, and how has it affected you, this COVID situation? I mean, like financially, it must have had a major impact on your life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's a lot harder for certain artists who, pay rent, and I live with my parents, so it's not too bad.
Okay.
And it's actually been a blessing in a sense where I've been able to really focus on the material and just like knuckle down in the studio.
Okay.
But yeah, it would be nice to have some more money.
Okay, so we're talking about busking and talking about your studio and talking about life during COVID.
Yeah.
When did you release the new single that we're going to play soon?
So we released it on August 7th.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been out for 5 weeks now.
Okay, so it's been up for 5 weeks. When was it actually finished or completed? Was it a long time ago, or was it?
No, July, like beginning of July. So
during COVID.
During COVID, yeah.
Had you intended to release music this year, or was it something that you did because you had more time on your hands?
Yeah, I intended to release music this year, but also having the time, it was beneficial. I would have liked to release a few more singles this year.
Which you still could.
Yeah, but like COVID has kind of slowed things down with the process of even releasing and like putting together a campaign and stuff like that, and like it just takes so much longer to put it through distribution. So
talking from the so this show is obviously for unsigned independent artists' music to be showcased, and also for people to hear the music, and for unsigned artists to hear other people's stories and music. So I like to ask people in your position about the process, because there are artists that maybe haven't released their first single just yet.
Yeah.
So what is it like talking about the campaign and the release process? Having just released your first single, what were the highs and lows? What were the pros and cons? What were the obstacles that you might have faced in trying to get this over the line and finally release it out there to the public?
Well, I'm fully independent. I don't have management or a label or anything like that. So I guess it's just a lot more work. But I do enjoy it. I really enjoy the business side as well. Try not to focus on it too much. Just just be as creative as I can and work on the music and the art. But it can be a challenge if you're trying to wear too many hats.
Yeah. But you have to, right?
Yeah.
There's no
That's
escape in it.
Nowadays, if you want to be a musician, you have to be an entrepreneur, like musicpreneur.
So what were the obstacles that you found?
I think it's just the creative process, because it's my first ever single I've released, self-released, and just like I guess I'm like most creatives, a perfectionist, and just not knowing when a song is finished. So you can just keep adjusting it, tweaking it.
How do you stop? Because I can imagine it's never finished. Even now, you could probably listen to it and think, actually, I should change that. So at what point do you stop? What point does someone grab you away from your computer and say, you know what, I said, enough's enough, you're done. What happens? How do you just stop?
But I think it's good to have like, good ears around, not just people that are going to say, oh, it's great, or people are going to be too hot. I'm the most critical of myself, but so that's not a great thing. But I think it's just focusing on finishing a song as opposed to perfecting a song. And I think the more you put out, you're gonna get the feedback, and you're just gonna get stronger and stronger by each single. So,
All right. Okay.
yeah.
So the single is out right now. And for people to go and download and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Streaming and download. No video.
No video for this one.
No intention of a video.
I'm doing an acoustic video.
Okay.
It's going to probably be out this. Yeah, it will be out this month.
Okay.
So acoustic visual.
So it will be out before the end of October.
Yeah.
Already recorded, I'm assuming. Then you said
Not
that,
yet.
No,
Not yet. That's why. So
you said that very confidently. So I'm thinking maybe it has been. No.
Yeah, no, not yet. But it's going to be quite a quick turnaround.
Okay.
As soon as we shoot it, it's sort of going to put it out. So yeah.
Okay. So away from the music, when you haven't got your guitar, haven't got your microphone, not in your studio, what are you up to? What are you doing? What rubbish football team are you supporting?
So
you got Arsenal face.
I'm not an Arsenal supporter.
Okay, you got Arsenal.
Definitely not. No, I'm a United fan.
Oh my days.
Big Man United fan.
Arsenal United, but more or less the same thing. But okay, go. Like, you look the same. You've got this look about you. Glory Hunters look. You've got the Glory Hunter look.
Well, we're not doing too well right now, are we?
Yeah.
But still supporting my team, man.
Why though?
Huh?
Why? What's the point?
You know what? My dad supports them, innit? That's the reason
That's how it
why.
goes, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
I support my team because my older brother.
Yeah.
But okay.
And he took me to Old Trafford when I was young, and I was like, wow, like music or football, that's like the dream. If I could do one of those things.
Can you play football?
I'm alright. I've started playing a five-a-side league on a Sunday now, so getting back into it.
You know what? If I say to someone, "Can you play football?" and then they hesitate for a second and say, "Nah, give me the I'm alright sound," you know that basically means no, they're not. That means no, they're not.
I'm getting better though.
You're supposed to get better. Your time's done now. Yeah. What position do you play?
In defence.
Okay, all right.
When I was young, I used to play in goal.
Really?
I wouldn't let any ball in.
But then you came out. Why did you come out?
Don't know. I don't know. I'm not as good now in goal.
Fair enough.
Maybe I was a bit more fearless when I was younger. Don't know. Don't know what it is.
That tends to happen to you. What else happened? So you like to? Do you still play now? Do you play for a team or anything like that?
Not for a team, just like with friends, five-a-side goals.
Okay.
On a Sunday.
I've just started playing five-a-side again. I hadn't played football in about 7 years. I started playing five-a-side. Absolutely knackered. I'm not playing with a team of fatties. They're all huge. From my old football team, but they've all just put on so much weight. I'm like the skinniest person in the team. And I'm the most unfit. It's unreal. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Apart from that, the football, the music, what else you doing in your downtime? You playing PS? You going out with people? What do you like to do in your
just socialize, go out for a drink,
read a book,
like playing FIFA.
FIFA?
Yeah, man.
Oh, okay.
I read a lot. I like reading as well.
Do you? What book are you reading right now?
I am reading Michael Jackson's biography.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it not a movie of it?
What do you mean?
Of Michael Jackson's biography, is there not like a movie you can watch? Just to say
there probably is, but
I hate reading.
I've been reading a lot of these autobiographies lately. Like I read Stormzy's.
He's got an autobiography.
It's kind of like an interview. Someone's interviewing the whole team, and then it's put in a story form.
All right. What's that like?
But that was great. Like the way he's assembled, like one of the best teams in the game. Like it's a really, really inspirational read.
Yeah, I didn't even know that even existed. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So we're gonna go. So you're gonna do a live performance for us shortly. What are you going to be performing? Are you performing the new single? Or?
Yeah, it's going to perform the new single.
So the new single is called?
Lighthouse.
Okay, and what inspired that title? What inspired the song?
So, as I say, we wrote it when I was in LA. It was inspired by one of the writers. She told us a story about losing a loved one and not knowing who to reach out to and sort of just losing her way since then. So, we just went with that subject and wrote Lighthouse.
Cool. So we're going to get a live performance of Lighthouse real soon. We're going to play a couple of tracks and then we'll be back on the other side. Andreas Liberos here in the building is going to be performing with his guitar live in the studio for all those listening to On Top FM.